Dr. Natalia Basova holds a figurine with a feather headdress. Picture Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography SB Ross. The finds were made on a prehistoric burial site terrace too close to the east bank of the Ob River in Novosibirsk. The most sensational is a figurine made of an as yet unknown organic material featuring what appears to be a feather headdress. Or could it be a halo atop the head of a deity? Researchers will now work hard to decipher the meaning of this intriguing relic. On the place of an old potato field were found Neolithic and Late Bronze Age settlements, Bronze Age burial site and a single burial of Turkic time. Pictures Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography SB Ross, NGS.RU. Feather headgear is not familiar in archaeological sites in ancient Siberia, although they were in the Middle East perhaps 1 or 2,000 years later, and leading archaeologist Vyacheslav Muladin has called this and other finds absolutely unique. Head of the expedition, Dr. Natalia Basova, outlined other unexpected finds. We found a figurine of a bird made of bone, and most likely it was sewn onto clothes or was a kind of pendant, she said. There were 4 anthropomorphic figurines, made of mammoth tusk, sandstone, birch burl and an unknown organic material, which needs to be checked. The figurine was made of an as yet unknown organic material. Pictures Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography SB Ross. The anthropomorphic figurines were most likely sewn onto clothes as they have holes. There is also a figurine of a moose, made of shale, but we are not sure if we can attribute it clearly. We found the figurine in the wall of an excavation hole, not in a burial. This figurine is now restored and was probably used for ritual purposes, she said. In male burials, archaeologists uncovered belt buckles made of bone and small sculptures, including anthropomorphic figurine made of mammoth tusk. Picture Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography SB Ross. The preliminary dating of the site is up to the end of the 3rd millennium BC, but stone implements were found from the Neolithic age, possibly as old as the 4th millennium BC. Found too was a late Bronze Age settlement of vermin culture and medieval burial from Turkic times. The main ancient burial ground is probably from the Krotovo culture from the Middle Bronze Age, but the experts want more time to assess. The finds are likely to find their way to Russia's premier museum, the St. Petersburg Hermitage. Professor Muladin said of the figurines, the finds are absolutely unique. This is most likely the 3rd millennium BC, figurine of a bird made of bone. Most likely it was sewn onto clothes or was a kind of pendant. Picture Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography SB Ross. According to the iconography of images, they are similar to the Okuniversamis culture, but the first did not reach our territories, and the second has a completely different funeral rite, by funeral practice. This is without a doubt is Krotovo culture. There are no parallels to the objects that have been found. They are absolutely stunning and, without exaggeration, worthy of the St. Petersburg Hermitage Museum. By funeral practice, this is without a doubt is Krotovo culture. Pictures Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography SB Ross. I am sure that experts will examine them more than once. The excavations are more complex because the natural layering of the soil was disturbed by a giant wave that washed over the site called Tourist II, some 4,000 years ago. This was caused by an earthquake, say geologists. In more modern times, it was a potato field before soil was removed to beautify the city. The debris from construction sites was dumped here. The river was also dredged and the silt put on this site.